Okay, hello everybody and welcome to this Study UK Alumni Awards How to Apply Information session. My name is Hugh Davis and I am the manager of the Alumni Awards, so I work for the British Council. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone, wherever you are in the world. So on the call today, there's me, who I manage the Alumni Awards. I've got my colleague from British Council who also manages the awards with me, Abby Jahan, and we've also got a colleague from GradCorps, my colleague John Custworth, who works at GradCorps, and GradCorps are responsible for reviewing the applications. So yes, welcome everybody. Abby, if you could go on to the next slide for me, please. Great, thank you. So what we'll cover today then is what the awards are and why should I apply for them. What are the eligibility criteria and what are the award categories? So we've got some new, all new categories this year, so we'll just be talking a little bit about those. And then, yeah, so just talking about the scoring criteria. So basically what will happen to your application once you submit it, how it'll be scored, and just some of the things that you should look to include in your application and how to write a strong one. There's a Q&A session at the end too. So if you've got any questions at all, please pop them in the Q&A. And we'll publish those and we'll answer them as we go along, basically. So I think today's session, today's call will be about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how many questions we get. I think that's everything. And just to say as well that please, if I'm speaking too quickly, just let me know. If I'm not grading my language, please let me know in the comments and I'll slow down. And just generally, if anything's not clear, then yeah, please let me know. We're recording this session today, and you'll automatically get a recording of it, just in case you wanted to go through what was covered. If you don't get the recording for whatever reason, then please email the inbox. Details of that will be coming at the end. I'm sure you've got the inbox email address anyway, but please let us know if you haven't. Okay, right then, please, Abby, let's next slide. Let's get into this. So, like I said, I manage the Alumni Awards. Thanks, Abby. You can go on to the next one. Thank you. So the awards then, this is just very general information. So the awards have been running for 6 or 7 years now, and the aim of them is to find and celebrate the UK's outstanding alumni and the impact that they're having on their professions, communities and countries all around the world. So typically they are winners and finalists are professionals, entrepreneurs and community leaders. And the whole point of the awards is to shine a light on you guys. So you're all doing amazing things all around the world, and basically we want to hear about it. So that's kind of the point, is to shine a light on your careers and what you're achieving with your UK education. So we work with UK universities here to promote the awards, and they're very keen for their university to be included in the storytelling. So it's kind of telling your story and sort of giving you a platform to meet new people and to get more coverage. So the 4 global winners overall winners will win a trip to the UK and will meet with their university and expand their networks. Excuse me, but prizes will be given at national level to finalists and winners, and they'll also be given a chance to showcase their work. So there's I'll go into more detail about this later, but there's the global side of the awards, But there's also, we've got a lot of country ceremonies happening this year, with prizes for the finalists and winners in those countries, and an opportunity to go to these great events that we put on, and to give you a platform to sort of showcase your work. So yeah, I'll talk more about the countries that are hosting the awards in a second, but that's loosely, that's why we run these awards, is to shine a light on you and to showcase what you're doing with your UK education. Next slide, please, Abby. So who can apply? So UK alumni currently residing in any country outside of the UK. If you're living in the UK, you can still apply, but we need you to demonstrate that the impact of your work is happening outside of the UK, and that you're spending the majority of your time outside of the UK. Alumni need to have studied at degree level or above within the last 15 years. So you need to have studied between 2006 and 2021 and enrolled at an officially recognised body or received a recognised award from a UK higher education. All of this information is on our website. So this is just very basic, basically covering the eligibility criteria here, but there's a lot more detail on our website. So if you have a look there, if you're unsure if your university is eligible, then have a look there. And if you're in doubt after reading that part of the website, then please just drop us an email and we can give you a yes or no answer immediately. So there are 4 new award categories this year. This is just something to bear in mind. So the work that you do will generally need to fall under these 4 broad themes and award categories. So there's science and sustainability, culture and creativity, social action, and business and innovation. So I'll talk a little bit more about those in a second. Abby, please, next slide. So this is just a timeline to give you a better understanding of what's going to happen to your application. So this is very small. I hope you guys can see this. So the call for applications, that's open now. It opened last Wednesday and it closes on the 29th of October, which is a Friday, I believe. So once that application stage closes, all of the applications will make their way over to our colleagues at GradCore, who are going to talk a little bit in about 10 minutes or so. So all of those applications will go to GradCore, who will review and mark all of the applications against the criteria. So that will happen by the 15th of November. And then country shortlisting will happen before the end of November 2021. So each country that will be taking part in the awards gets their top 20 applications, and then we send those to the universities represented. So we ask the universities represented to verify the applicants, just to make sure that they did in fact study at that university. And then before January, the end of January 2022, we let all finalists, all winners, and all universities involved of the outcome of their application. So once you submit an application, we'll let you know what's happening by the very latest, will be the end of January 2020. So January to March 2022, that's when all of the country ceremonies will be happening. So we've got 19 in all this year. I've got a list of them on the next slide. But the vast majority of those will be happening between January and March 2020. And that's kind of where the sort of the country specific alumni awards part of the process ends. Then we move into more of the global aspect of the process. So between February and March 2022, the regional judges will judge and mark and identify the 28 global finalists, so the 28 best applications globally. Then once we know that, and between April and September 2022, we share one of those stories every week. So you may have seen we're currently sort of coming to the end of that process now. So you may have seen it from the last campaign. So that's what we'll do between April and September 2022. And then the global judges select their 4 overall winners, and then they are announced between August and November 2022, and we get the 4 winners over to the UK. So whew, that's I've just been through all of that. There's quite a lot of detail there, but it gives you an idea of sort of the kind of the journey that your application will go on. Okay, so next, oh sorry, just before I move on, so we've got like I said, 19 countries are hosting a ceremony. So if you're applying from one of those countries, then you'll be considered for the national level awards. Regardless, every application will be considered for the global awards. So basically, yeah, if you're applying in one of the countries that's hosting award, you'll be considered for that and the global awards. But if you're applying from a country that's not hosting a national level ceremony, then you'll still be considered for the global awards. Okay, next slide, please, Abby. Okay, so these are the countries hosting a ceremony. I won't read them off because they're all in front of you. So these will happen between January and March 2022, apart from, so what we know so far is China and Armenia. They'll be hosting, the plan is to host the awards in December 2021. The plan is at this stage to host the awards if we can, in a face-to-face way, so providing all of the local regulations allow us to do so, but the plan is to host these awards physically. They may, depending on what happens with the pandemic, we may need to switch to a virtual event, but the kind of the default position is to host these awards in a physical way. So I would encourage you to apply for the awards wherever you're applying from, because you know, we really want to hear from you. But if you're applying from one of these countries, then you've got a sort of an added incentive, because you can be involved in one of the amazing events that we'll be putting on sort of towards the end of this year and early next year. So please go on to the next slide, Abby. Okay, so these, I'm just going to talk a little bit. So I'm just seeing there's some questions coming through. I'll publish those in a minute, and I'll try my best to answer them. I've just got a few more slides, and I'll pass over to my colleague John. So these are the new award categories. So I'm not going to read these slides because hopefully you'll have read a little bit about them on our website. So the Science and Sustainability Award, the areas of work that this could include are climate action, clean energy, medicine, sustainable cities and communities, anything to do with engineering, industry and construction. Culture and creativity, we're looking for individuals who can demonstrate their artistic ingenuity, influence and creativity. So things like art, design, media, video, TV, music, bloggers, vloggers, YouTubers, and just generally the humanities. The next slide, please, Abby, and the next award category will be the Social Action Award. So we're looking for people here who have created positive social change and generally improving the lives of others. So things like reducing inequality, poverty and hunger, education and upskilling, peace and justice. And then the Business and Innovation Award. So things around entrepreneurship, business, technology and finance. So there's just a note at the end there to say that occasionally the judging panel might put you in a different category if they think it's necessary. We'd let you know about that if it did happen. Also, it's worth pointing out that previously we had the professional achievement category in previous years. So this tended to be a kind of it wasn't a particularly focused category, this, and it tended to be more of a catch-all category. We had by far the most applications in that category, and it's one of the reasons that we changed them up this year, or we changed them up for the foreseeable future, is because it wasn't particularly refined or targeting at all, and we get a lot of we just get so many applications in that category. So if you are in doubt about where to apply, then please let us know. We get sort of questions around, particularly around academia, and if you work in academia, then where would you apply? Normally you would apply for a professional achievement, but obviously we don't have that this year. So what I would encourage applicants to do is to think about where the impact has taken place. So we're after impactful stories, and you'll see John will talk in a minute about, so impact is the most important criteria when looking at these applications. So have a think about where the impact lies, and I hope you can use that as sort of a guide as to which category you should apply for. If in doubt, then please get in touch. Next category, next slide, please, Abby, and this is the last one from me, everyone. So this is just generally about the application process. If you don't know by now, the application is done online and via this link here. Like I said, we'll share these slides with you after the call, but it's available on our website as well. So we won't be accepting paper applications. Unfortunately, you need to apply through the website. So the Apply Now button is on the Study UK Alumni Awards website. If you want to sort of search for that, you'll find it. The application stage closes on the 29th of October, so please get your application in then. We're unable to accept any beyond that deadline. So when you start your application, you'll have the option to save and resume later. So unless you've been preparing this for a while, I expect your application to sort of, it might take you a couple of weeks to put together and submit. So there is a save and resume later function. So that, once you click on that on the website, on the application form, it'll give you a unique link. So it's really important that you keep that link safe, because that's the only way you'll be able to resume your application. So yeah, it's really important that you keep that link safe, and you have 30 days to complete the application from using that that save and resume later function. So it's important for me to say as well that if you save and resume, or if you save your application and go in sort of the day later, that 30 days will reset. So that's just really important to remember. So please keep that link safe. And if you do intend on taking sort of more than 30 days to submit an application, then just remember that you'll need to go in there and to reset that 30 days. We've got some top tips on our website and FAQs, and yeah, for any other advice, please send us an email to the inbox. Okay, next slide, please, Abby. So before I pass over to my colleague John, just to let you know that I'll be looking at these questions that you've all posted in here, and I'll try my best to answer them. So yeah, I can see we've got 8 questions in there, so I'll go ahead and answer these now. And yeah, over to you, John. Sorry, John, you're on mute.
So yeah, thanks, Hugh. So yeah, my organisation, GradCorp, we have worked with the British Council on the Alumni Awards project for a number of years now, both assessing entries, but also working with the British Council to enhance and refine the scoring criteria. And so what I'm going to do this morning, if you let me, just go through the criteria, explain what we're looking for at the different stages, outline the different criteria, and also give you some tips, I suppose, as to how to best demonstrate the criteria in your response, and hopefully, if there are any questions, be able to answer them knowledgeably. So here we go. There's 5 outline areas for how your application will be scored. They are impact, UK influence, media traction, potential to influence and inspire, and the overall quality of the application. So let's dive in. Impact. So this is evidence of tangible impact and the scale of impact of your work inspired by your UK education, either in your profession, the community in which you reside, and society more broadly. Each one of this criteria is scored out of 8, and it goes from 0 being zero impact or contribution to the profession, community, society, to right up to 8. Now, you'll see there's quite a lot of points where you can really enhance your application, and potentially also where your application will fall down. This criteria, we're really looking for you to evidence the impact. And so what we mean by evidence is using either stories, news articles, things that would enhance and explain clearly the impact of your work, either in that profession, the community, or society, that will really tell the story that you're trying to give us to enhance your overall submission, and hopefully hitting the heady heights of an 8, which would provide us with outstanding evidence of the national global impact and the overall contribution to your profession, community, and society. Again, next slide, please, Abby. And so next criteria is the UK influence. So we're looking here for you to demonstrate what it was specifically about your UK education that helps you achieve your success, and where appropriate you can reference the qualities of the UK education, the university you attended in your course, and specifically what helps you from that context help you achieve your success. And zoom right in and focus right in on what it was in particular about your UK education that has given you a head start you feel above your peers in your society, community, or profession. In particular, it's useful to start referencing networks that you might have made or formed because they might previously have not been a network of professionals or people like yourself who you may have met even while studying in the UK or set up when you returned home. And that basically those guys have supported you and helped you achieve your success, potentially enhanced your impact and widened the impact of your work. Also think about personal skills that you might have acquired and developed during the education you had in, with a UK university, and thinking there about specifically anything that made you more confident or enabled you to demonstrate great team working, and also how you relate to others, especially from more diverse and different backgrounds to your own. And then anything that you feel in particular that your UK university did to help you contribute to that sort of circumspect, that global outlook, international perspective that helps you acknowledge and recognise the contribution of others, but also then feeds into the broader success of your work. This is about how your UK university experience has enhanced you as a person, and specifically how that's helped you, I don't know, potentially utilise a bit of knowledge or a network that you established whilst at university that's enabled you to make a particular choice or highlighted a particular way of working that's enabled you to have significant impact in your country. One good example from last year was a student from Pakistan who had never seen a price comparison website before. And living in the UK, he set up something. He saw lots in the UK. I'm sure you remember the adverts with the meerkats and the other price comparison websites, and he took inspiration from seeing those and then did something similar in Pakistan. So it's a really good example of not just the UK university experience, but also his UK experience of no doubt been bombarded with advertising of price comparison websites, but noticing there's a gap in the market in Pakistan for him to do that himself. So the UK influence is scored a 0 to 5, and 0 is, you know, little evidence of the UK experience influencing success, and then right up to 5, providing outstanding evidence of UK influence. And what we mean by that is very clear links between the UK education experience and their achievements and impact upon your profession, community, or society. Next, media traction. So this is the extent to which your story is likely to resonate within a local, regional, national media in your country for the national awards, and then also thinking globally how global or international media may have picked up on your work or your achievements. So marks are awarded here between 0 to 5 again. And again, as you can see, they're not going to read them all, but we'll just look at 0 and outstanding. So likelihood of traction with local media is minimal, and it's extremely unlikely to attract the interest of local media, right up to outstanding traction. So your story is exceptional and almost certain to attract media attention at all levels, local, national, and global. Obviously, here it's really useful to include any evidence around media traction. If there's been blogs written about your work, or any publications or further bits of evidence to enhance your story and your claim to, you know, have had significant media traction around your work and your story. It's really obvious to include, you know, links to publications where you know, your work has been documented. And it's also good to have an awareness of political sensitivity in certain cases. So we've got one here of someone from India living in Pakistan and how that might resonate with the media on a national level. The judging panel will make the final call, but it's good to keep these sorts of nuances in mind when you're expressing your application and how in different countries that's of particular interest, and highlighting that for judges. And then also when you're up for the global award and you've got one eye on that as well, it's good to try and figure out the global angle, the international angle, and make sure that's highlighted and usefully narrated within your application, not just thinking about regional, national media. What would be interesting on a global scale, and, you know, thinking about in particular what would be interesting to the British Council and most other readers. Okay, number 4. I'll just take a quick drink, pardon me. Thirsty work, this. Okay, 4th criteria. So this is potential to influence and inspire. This is the extent to which, including your capacity and willingness in your story, is likely to influence and inspire the next generation of prospective internationally mobile students in your country for the national awards, or thinking globally, internationally, globally significant to study at a UK university. Marks for this one are a 0 to 5, 0 being very unlikely to inspire the next generation, and 5, it's an exceptional sort of story, almost certain to inspire the next generation. Again, here with all entries, we're looking for you to hit the higher scores. You will need to document significant evidence of the inspirational angle and the influential angle of your story. So thinking about how this might encourage other students from your country to come to the UK and pursue a similar path to yourselves, thinking about what particular angles there might be on that, and use it as a point of reflection as well, to sort of look back at your journey and think, what messages would I've liked to have heard as a non-UK attending student that sort of tipped me over the edge to pursue an education in the UK, and thinking about all the benefits and uniquely those benefits that you've harvested from your UK education, and which of those you think will inspire and influence others to follow a similar path to yourself. So yeah, just thinking about that evidence and how you bring that to life for us in your submission. And yeah, this is about your ability to tell that story and yeah, significantly detail that. And lastly, the overall quality of the application. So this is most evident of how much effort you've put into your application. The content is more important than the length of application, so you need to refine your story and tell it succinctly. So my advice here is, as Hugh was saying earlier, make use of that save and resume. Don't think that the first time you jot down your story or your submission that will be the best version of it. I would encourage you to draft offline first, and then when you come to submit, make sure you read it, perhaps check with a peer or a colleague to make sure that it makes sense, because no doubt you'll have to refine and cut back, but then sometimes the narrative is lost when you do that. So just encourage you to pare back and double check that it sort of stands up to muster, and your colleagues who don't necessarily know you or your story too well are actually impressed by what you've put together. So focusing on your application, you need to cover off the necessary points within it. Writing applications and submissions is different to other sorts of writing. You do need to tell a story, but you also need to hit the points within the criteria that we've outlined, both in the top tips, but also as part of the application form. You'll need to think about if you need to include YouTube videos or web links. If you do, make sure that they're relevant and referenced appropriately. Don't just drop them in there. They will be checked, but don't make it so that the reader has to click on that link or has to watch the YouTube video in order for your application to make sense. Use it as supplementary content, not the content. I can't be more clear than that. We also know that the vast majority of you don't speak English as a sort of first native language, and so we will be looking for good English and good syntax, but not penalising anybody, because we all know that you're not native English speakers. And again, this is marked from 0 to 5. And we're really looking for you to sort of demonstrate how you push those boundaries and made things happen. It's especially important when you're looking to pursue the entrepreneurial award. Okay.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Abby. Thanks, Hugh.
That was yeah, no, thanks a lot for that, John. That was yeah, really detailed, and yeah, I guess sort of spelling out to people exactly what we want to see under every category. So once, like I said, once the call closes, excuse me, all of the applications will go to John's organisation, and they will sort of divide them up between the pool of reviewers, and they'll all get marked out of those categories that John has just shared, and they'll get the similar sort of training to what John just said, obviously, but in a bit more detail. So it's really important paying attention to the to that criteria. Okay, all right. Just before we wrap up, everyone. So we've had we've had a lot of questions. I haven't published. I've been busy answering them. I haven't published them because they're very unique and specific, and so I kind of need more information. So things around, I work in 2 areas. Which area would be the best to sort of go into? I think we need a more information there on some of these questions. So I've tried to answer. So we've actually had quite a few. But yeah, I know lots of them will have been answered by John in his session, particularly of the type of evidence that you're looking that we're looking for under the different categories. So I'm pretty confident John covered that off in his session. But this email address here. So for those of you that I've given an answer to, and perhaps I've asked for more details, then please email us, and we'll be able to sort of just to understand better about your circumstances and identify a category for you to apply for, or answer your question that way. So that all being said, thank you everybody we've come to the end of the session now. Thanks for joining this. and yeah, we'll share these this recording with you. Please get in touch using using that email address. And yeah, we look forward to receiving your application. So thanks everybody, and yeah, we'll be in touch. Bye for now.
Bye guys, good luck.
Good luck everyone.